you so much, lovely. All right, PGL, first one in my career, but I think let's start discussing what we've just seen. Thanks both, Eragon, as well as Treatz for joining. Wait, it's also your first PGL.
It is my first PGL, actually.
Oh, welcome.
Yes. Yeah,
welcome to us both.
I should say welcome now.
Yeah,
welcome,
actually, that's
guys.
your job. You're slacking.
I'm the PGLer. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Didn't know you were chill like that. All right, let's jump straight into things. We have the upper as well as the lower. How are we expecting this to go? What matchup are you personally looking forward to?
I mean, I saw the upper half and my mind instantly went to G2 picking Giant X as their opponent.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the obvious choice, I would say. I think for the lower half, it was a bit harder for BDS. I think, who was it? It was Fnatic, it was SK Gaming, and it was Vitality, right?
Yep.
Maybe they would pick Vitality in my head, that I think this may be the easiest opponent. Pretty tricky, I would say. I think the G2 choice is a bit more obvious, at least to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go for the easiest opponent yourself?
I think I wanted to hop on the Vitality choice. I feel like that might be a little bit of a trap. You know, Vitality coaching staff being pretty good as the split scales. You know, maybe better at preparing for, you know, if they have some time. I think they could be a bit of a trap to pick.
I think as well something to take into consideration here is the fact that it's moving from a BO1 format to a best of 3.
For sure.
And that is also going to have a different approach from these players.
Yeah, it is very different, best of 3 and best of 1. There are some teams which kind of excel in the best of 3 format and some which kind of excel in the best of 1. So now coming into playoffs, best of 3, it's going to be very interesting. I do think that the lower half is kind of more evenly matched overall. I think the upper half, at least to me, there are kind of the clear winners in G2 and Fnatic, and then obviously Giant X being, I think, the team that G2 will pick. But very interesting to see who they will pick when they get here. Yeah, will be very interesting to see this playoff.
I just think the lower half is full of teams that were kind of shaky coming into week 3 or like in week 3. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to gauge their level, and I think the teams will have to get over that too. Whereas I think if you looked at week 2 and when you kind of knew who was good and who was not so great, I think it's much harder now.
It's been a bumpy road for all the teams in the lower half. I think, honestly, now as well with BDS losing as well, and obviously SK as well, I think those were kind of considered the top 2 teams. Heretics also having a 0-3 week, right? So I think the lower half teams are all kind of in the pool and kind of have their chance to show it now in playoffs and kind of pop off. So I think especially for the lower half, it will be interesting to see.
It feels in general with how the games have gone, especially this week, it's kind of gone for grabs for anyone. I think BDS, particularly that team that when we were looking at Eragon was the quote-unquote strongest team that we had, and then them ending up losing to Karmine Corps, who had a great performance today, giving G2 that top slot. I don't know, man. You can't call it these days.
Yeah, no. I mean, I do think that the loss today, they were trying a really quite hard draft. From memory, it was a draft that gets outscaled really quickly, right? So maybe it was just a one-off. I think BDS is still a safe choice to potentially win whoever they come up against, you know, because they are really solid. And they have been solid for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, how much do you want to read into this last week of games, right? Because it is different, best of 1, best of 3. I think a team like BDS has shown a lot in regular season, and even though they ended second now instead of first, which I think obviously they would have wanted, it's going to be interesting to see their best of 3 approach. As you said, I think the first series, in theory, shouldn't be a problem for them, whoever they end up choosing. But yeah, best of 3 is a different beast, so they have to come in prepared on the new patch.
What if for the memes, you actually just pick like the strongest opponent, just to like establish dominance? Would
That
you?
is kind of Giga Chad, yeah.
Right?
I would respect it, to be honest.
Yeah. I think one of the matchups is going, because if G2 take Giant X, then it's going to be Fnatic versus Mad. Who do you think is going to take that?
Ooh, that is a pretty tricky one. I mean, MDK, I think they looked pretty good today, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Alvaro, especially on the Blitzcrank, he looked very solid. I think that's kind of a toss-up, because in my eyes, Fnatic have gone down a bit. Obviously today had a good game, but the past few games before that has been a bit of a struggle, so that's kind of a close game, I would say.
Yeah, looking at the best of 3 format, though, it's not just that, it's also that we're going to be in a different patch. So you mentioned, Eragon, the draft, particularly from the side of MDK and how that's been looking really strong. But when you're in that best of 3, you have a new patch. What can you expect them to throw at you, if anything?
I think it's going to be so hard to answer any of that. There's so many weird changes that are coming out, and I think you know what I mean, with like the HP shards, right? Loads of different champs. You see dominating solo queue right now as a bunch of tanks top lane, so pretty weird. I think it's pretty hard to call.
From a top laner perspective, though, because I know you love to play Renekton, a champion that BB literally told you to just like bin it. But from a top laner perspective and the new changes that are coming in, is there any champ or any item in particular that you're looking forward to being played?
Keep an eye on Zac. Zac has climbed to such a high win rate and has received such huge buffs to his early sustain.
We're gonna have to cut you off mid-sentence. I'm so sorry, but you know what?
Welcome.
You guys can give us an input. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, Adam and Caps. Top laner, Adam. We were discussing the new patch, and Eragon was telling us about Zac. Your opinions on Zac top?
Put you on the spot there.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, absolutely. We would love
Always.
Looks really bad.
that.
Looks really bad.
Okay,
I've been called out.
Yeah.
Okay, hear my pitch, right? Hear my pitch.
Oh.
The new HP shards, right? This is next patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, have you seen the buffs he just received to his healing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. None of that convinces you? Highest win rate top laner?
Pretty sure Adam and Olaf runs that, no?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
True.
But pretty much like all top laners can just go like double runes, so the HP doesn't
Okay.
really matter.
Yeah,
I did play the segment last year though, so maybe that's.
So you, on the other hand, you've been looking at the
You're
changes.
a Zac believer? Okay. Well, I guess in that regards, then I'm sorry if you were a salesman.
it's a
You're not very
disaster, isn't it?
successful at it. But both of you are joining us here, so thank you so much for doing that. You are in the upper half. You're in the lower half. I'm gonna start with you, Caps. You said yourself you would love to play Heretics. Kind of looking forward to that. Is that what you want to go for?
I would have loved to pick that, but apparently we picked the. Wait, actually, should I say who we picked that? Or is it that?
I'm asking you. Well,
Oh.
they're not in the same pool, so. They're in the lower.
Wait, we're picking between Heretics and GX, right?
But if you want to say it, just got confirmation.
you can pick
give the
for-
leaks.
yeah.
Okay, I can get
You
the
can
leaks.
leak it now for free.
Yeah, it's okay.
We picked GX.
Okay.
Apparently, I would have loved to pick Heretics, but I think the logic is that they have a lot of previous MSI champions on that team. So I guess my team got a bit scared.
Okay.
I predicted you would pick GX.
Yeah, they called
I
it,
respect
so.
it.
Particular reason for GX? Besides the MSI champs on the other team?
I mean, I guess we played against them this week, so it definitely felt like a good game for us. So maybe that's why we hope for a similar series in the best of 3.
As in a 2-0 or 2-1?
I mean, hope for that 2-0, yeah.
Okay, fair.
No content game?
No content game, just sprinkle
Just
it in a
one.
little, you know,
Content
is
a little
Monday, right?
spicy. Okay, fair. Adam, it's your turn for the leaks, if you would like to do us
yes.
the honors.
So we decided to pick Heretics
Okay. Interesting.
because, I mean, I think they're like the weakest team in our group, low-key.
All right, low-key.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think our gameplay kind of counters them, and I cannot see us losing to them, so
2-0?
to them.
Yeah, no.
2-0?
Oh, yeah,
2-0?
Yeah, I think pretty quick as well.
Oh,
Okay, well, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, let's just see what happens then.
All right. Well, we have the matchup against Heretics. How are we feeling about that?
I mean, I predicted you guys would pick Vitality.
Okay.
I think it's kind of up between them, obviously, who would choose. I understand the Heretics, though. I think especially this week, they didn't look particularly in form. And I think like you said, I think your gameplay kind of matches them well. You guys have a good, kind of solid foundation. I think they struggled to find a lot of early leads, so I could see you guys having a very good mid-game against them and kind of easy team fights. Especially Perks, I think, struggled a lot this week. He didn't really find his footing.
Wow. You should be a motivational speaker. That was really inspiring.
I think that was kind of uninspiring for Perks now.
I was
Hopefully
trying to
he
be
didn't
nice.
hear
All right, we have the brackets ready, so it's filled out. G2 are going to be going up against Giant X, MDK up against Fnatic, and then we have BDS against Team Heretics and SK against Vitality. Besides the game that you're playing, Adam, is there any matchup particularly that you're really looking forward to?
Well,
It's behind you as well, if you would like a reminder.
that's
Yeah.
really cool, yeah.
Technology.
Well, naturally, I would also like to be facing SK, because I
Okay.
do believe they're like a strong teams, and it's also going to be a good test for us to see what we can do against such team in best of 3. So really looking forward, and I also can play Niski, so if I
Yeah.
can destroy him, I'm a bit happy. So.
Is it like personal or like
No,
banter?
we're like friends, so
Okay.
every time we meet each other, it's always funny. So
What's the banger top lane matchup though? If you could pick any top laner.
Of course, it's top laner ask.
Yeah.
there's none.
None.
Oh,
None.
you're the
No.
GOAT?
Okay.
No, like not banger. Like when I mean by banger is like nothing that will just like, oh, I really need like to do something special, for
Okay.
example. So yeah.
Caps, I'm going to have to ask you the same question. Besides your own game, which game do you think is going to be the most exciting?
Well, I'm looking forward for the BDS Heretics game. I think that will be fun. Yeah, and I mean, I guess also MDK Fnatic, because it looks like if we win, we will play the winner of that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's definitely a match to look out for.
Do you have a specific person you would like to go up against?
Maybe Fnatic. I think we had a fun game yesterday, and it always ends up being
solo
some
bowler there.
crazy
Yeah,
games.
that was an interesting one.
And that was a fun game, yeah.
Yeah. You have a favorite yourself?
Oof, I mean, they all look pretty good. I think there are a lot of close games. I would say the most one-sided one might be the G2 versus Giant X. I think for myself, I'm kind of interested in the MDK Fnatic because Fnatic ended this week on a high as well, and MDK with the win today. I think both of them will come in with a lot of new tactics on the patch, and I think it will be interesting to see the new patch. There's a lot of new champs. Maybe you guys obviously can't leak any champions, but maybe you already started cooking even though your week wasn't finished. And maybe that's the case. Maybe some Twisted Fate perhaps, a little Karma Flex perhaps.
Whoa.
Any leaks that you guys want to share or now?
And 14.2 looks a bit juicy, so
Okay,
we're looking
juicy?
forward to it, yeah.
Juicy for what lane? Top
Everyone.
lane, mid lane,
Everyone.
bot,
I would say
jungle?
kind of everything at this point, because
Okay.
the meta is pretty versatile, so I think you can have a lot of fun right now if you cook.
If you cook.
If you cook
You guys
a
have been
lot, yeah.
cooking, like
We've been
nothing's
cooking,
burnt
yeah,
yet,
yeah.
so impressive. Looking at lanes, particularly when we're looking at drafts, especially the pick and ban stage caps, it's always very heavy focused on banning out bot laners as quickly as possible. Is that something you're expecting to carry into next patch? Is that something that just all teams are going to keep prioritizing?
I mean, probably. I think I don't know if anything necessarily changed with bot lane meta, so it's probably still going to be like very volatile down there. But we will see if there's some power picks coming up. You guys mentioned a few that got buffed, and there's definitely a lot of mid laners that got changed. So it looks like it might even be a bigger change than like the preseason patch, because we saw a lot of the.
Do you like that? Do you like how it's changing every month? It's like a new game. What do you guys think?
I mean, for me, I think it's nice because I like to try out different things, and especially when it's not the same champions getting buffed. Like, it's very different champions getting buffed right now. You even mentioned the sack, right? Like, that might be something that can come out in some matchups. So I like having like these very niche picks, I guess, when they get buffed, because that's always fun to try out.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like the same. Like, every time there's something new, of course, like, you always tend to have like more fun all of a sudden. So just the little downside is just you have only like kind of 3 days to practice.
Yeah.
So naturally, it's not, in terms of cooking for competitive, you cannot maybe cook a bit too much, but it's always good to see new things because just more natural.
When we're looking at plays, not for competitive then, more like solo queue or champs that you guys really enjoy playing, is there anything in particular in top lane that you think, if you get the chance, just for funsies game, what would be a champion that you would pick top?
Karma.
Karma top?
Oh,
Karma
already do
top.
know.
Wait, would you go AP,
I'm
like
just licking.
tanky?
I'm just licking everything.
It's on the
Everything?
table now,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can even go AD. I don't know, like this champ is a bit.
I've seen that in solo queue.
Yeah.
It
Into
kind of
Rumble,
hurts.
no?
Really?
You already played it into Rumble.
I used to play in Champions Queue, yeah. So
Yeah. What about you, Caps? Anything particular in mid that you would love to play?
I mean, I always wanted to play some Astro mid.
S? Okay.
FLICKR used to pop up on that.
It
so,
also got
Yeah.
buffed this patch
It got
cap,
buffed
so
too.
you never
Perks
know.
has been spamming it as
Yeah,
well.
might
We've
have to
seen,
try it out.
yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess we're not gonna potentially see that. No leaks. I know you guys can't tell us anything. But in general, looking at the season and how it went, has there been any team, Adam, that you thought, wow, they really stepped up to the plate, and any team that has potentially missed the mark a little in terms of what you expected from them?
yeah, I mean, I'm a bit sad, for like K-Corp, obviously, because I do believe they were like a strong team. Just looking at their names and how they were like performing in scrims as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit unfortunate that they didn't manage to get through for like this playoff, but also think it can be a good lesson for them, like of coming into the spring split. I do believe they must have been learning a lot. So, and regarding Rogue, I'm not that surprised.
All right.
Yeah, to be fair, because I mean, when I look at their team, I don't see like really who can carry intensively, kinda. So they kind of lack of the guy, like we need the guy in Rogue, and so far we haven't seen him. So yeah, I'm a bit sad for them as well.
When you talk about that guy, do you mean the person who like steps up and is
Yes,
more vocal,
exactly, yeah.
calling the shots? Okay, so
Exactly.
more of like an IGL kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Treatz, when you're looking at the teams that have made it through, but also potentially the teams that are not with us anymore, moving into the BO3s, is there any team that has exceeded your expectations?
I think,
You can't see
honestly, I mean, BDS, of course, has not too high on my power rankings. I think you guys kind of clicked faster than what I expected. I think changing AD carry, though, is kind of the easiest role to change. Obviously, Crowny is a very talkative guy, so I think from that perspective it's different. But AD carry, at least it's someone you can slot in and kind of just let him do his thing. So I think maybe I underestimated you guys a bit. I think some other team that I kind of didn't expect was Vitality, because they had a very rocky start and coming in kind of after the 0-3 start and then making it now to playoffs and looking a bit better, obviously, now with the loss, unfortunately. But I think they also surprised me a bit positively, to be honest.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Caps, from your perspective, the teams that have actually made it through, is there anyone in particular that you really think are a very strong opponent, whether it's from your pool or from the lower pool?
I mean, I think the meta will change probably a lot, so it's like it's hard to predict who will do strongest. I mean, definitely BDS was looking very strong, like I guess this regular season, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, I think they're the team to look out for. But it's always it will always be different on new patch, right?
Yeah. And BO3 as well. And BO3 as well.
Yes.
So there will be a lot of changes in this kind of series as well.
I think I like going into the split. I was probably thinking Fnatic would be a challenge, right? They finished second as well last year, so maybe BDS or Fnatic.
All right, BDS or Fnatic. And in terms of adaptability, Adam, is there any team that has been surprisingly adaptive that you think coming into BO3s with the changes are going to be a monster? You can't say BDS.
Well, in terms of adaptability, usually you just look at teams which have, some players that can have, crazy gameplay. So naturally, I think we would be pretty good at adapting. I would say G2 as well, because they like cook a lot, for example.
They do, yeah.
You do like your cooking. Like,
Yeah,
are you hungry?
I do believe cooking is like a great thing at League, right? So we just leave like the boringness of everything that can be happening in game and just try to have a bit more fun. I could see as well Mad Lions stepping up a little bit, because best of 3 is also a way like you can more focus on your opponent and try to build like a strategy around it. And I do believe Mad with their players can adapt pretty well. So I'm really looking forward to them actually.
All right.
When it comes to adaptability, this is something I wanted to ask anyone on BDS. You guys have really changed since Worlds, like a lot, right? It feels like it at least. You're willing to more pick lanes that will go down 30 CS, right? For the sake of the team, and you'll play through other lanes other than just Shio sitting top for 3 minutes on Rel, whilst you play Renekton into whatever. Is this something you actively sat down and talked about, saying, guys, we need to be more flexible? Or did it just sort of happen because of the meta?
I mean, I think not really. It's just Xante is just too broken.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah,
that's why I said too.
So the moment I started to pick him up, we from outside perspective, we might think that we like change a lot, but no, the champion is just too broken.
So it's just Xante.
We're just the same actually.
Right,
we're just the same.
And then we get the Vlad top here and there, and that was exciting. So thank you guys for that. Thank you so much as well for joining, and thank you to those at home as well for making sure that you guys have tuned in. A little bit of an update in terms of the games of next week. Saturday, first game will be BDS up against Team Heretics, and the second game will be G2 against Giant X. Sunday, we're going to be starting off with a banger of SK against Vitality and finishing off with another one with Mad Lions Koi against Fnatic. Our match of the week. Winner of each side of the bracket play on Monday, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that one. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be back on Saturday for the opening series of the Winter Playoffs. Please check out the LEC on X or watch.lolesports.com for the full schedule. Have an incredible evening. See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Look at Dignar. I'm watching, nothing yet. I can go. Naka. Look me. Zeri. Yeah, together. Look at this. Watch out, LeBlanc, guys. It's okay, go. It's okay, go. Nice, good job, guys. Big. My bad, you griefde, but
ends up being one grub for one grub, still one up for the taking.
LeBron. Nice stun coming in from Targamas. LeBron is dead here. Ooh, clean play from KC bottom lane.
I'm behind them. Keep. Just keep.
I need one kill, okay, Savannah?
Go forward.
Now Razork is behind enemy live on the Perks. Flashes, who expected he runs back in? Perks running away though, but he doesn't want to go over the flames. Instead, pops them back, flashes. Nice to get out of a humanoid under the turret.
I'm tipping. I get it.
Kill Udyr. Okay.
Bobby's not flash.
Nice.
Okay, it's a stop.
Well, but we made it so hard for no reason.
Before start game, Wonder said to me, "Every game come bot," and he's
Oh my god.
Up in the top side, he's going to get a revive. He gets this, but he does. Mickey's roam is now beautiful.
Back on a W.
Jax.
Look, Azia.
Yeah. We kill him. Get Nash.
Take him out.
Let's get Nash.
But Mickey's hostile takeover sets it up the lilting lullaby. Yike is sending them to bed. And to bed SK will go. No hope, no chance. G2 can't lose this one.
Giving 5.
Varus no flash. Brando flash.
I can go.
0 flashes.
Look Varus.
Okay, do the drill, do the drill.
Tower.
You're gonna get 5 seconds.
Nice.
Focus.
Brother there. Oi! Hailey-san, brother.
Oh, GG guys.
GG.
Look here, look here.
Look, Ash, no flash, okay?
Woo!
Get away, what?
Combo! Good job, guys.
That's it.
He's coming.
Get in!
I'm proud of you guys. Well played. Good job.